Hi everyone, it is Abigail of the Black Book Space. I'm here today to talk to you about 5 authors that you have never heard of. So stay tuned, grab a little something to drink so we can talk, because some of these authors get a little spicy. You know how I love my romance novels. Come back in a moment and let's talk about these books. This first book is called Secret Indiscretions, and I talked about it last week. It is by Trice Hickman. I really enjoyed this book. Sadly, I had never heard of this author before. I got these books from like a thrift store that has a bunch of books. It's called Bookman's. Highly recommend if you're in Arizona. There may be other places too, I have no idea. But they're a great place to get books for inexpensive and books that people, loved at one time and had to give them a new home. This book is my type of book because it has the romance factor, but it also has some mystery. So it starts, not to give any spoilers, at the end where the villain in the book is being, shot, dead. So kind of sad. But it goes through the book and lets you know why, like what led up to this point. And there is a sequel to this book because it's a part of the Dangerous Love novel series. Really, really good book. Beautiful prose, funny characters. It kind of dabbles in like mental health issues and trauma and how it affects people. Really love that part because it's something that is not explored very much in romance novels, because we're trying to make it all, like cute and romantic and all this kind of stuff, but it's really important. So I like that it was brought to light in this book. So if you're interested in things like that, highly recommend it. Geneva Mayfield is the star of the show, so to speak, and her husband Johnny is so trifling. If you want to hear about this book, I will link to the comments the synopsis that I gave about it before. Of course, I'm also going to talk about it on my blog. Highly recommend it. Read this book and tell me what you think. If you've already read it, let me know what you thought about it, because I would love to celebrate this book at the an epic book chat at some point. Tara Shelton Harris wrote One Summer in Savannah. I like this book. It's really sad though. It does have some trigger warnings in it because sexual assault is one of the main characters, so to speak, or conflicts in the book. But I love the way this woman writes. Like, she has such a beautiful way of with words. I had never heard of her before. And let me see, I don't know whether she has written other books, but that's usually in the story. I believe she may be a first-time author. So with that being said, we have to make sure that we are celebrating her so that she's writing us more books, because we need more books to read. Beautiful book, and a story, like I said before, because I've talked about this story before. It tells the story of people who don't always get to tell their story, right? Sexual assault usually blames the victim. People are really embarrassed about what happened to them. And that's what happens in this book too, because the main character goes back to her hometown. Her father is taken ill, and she's in the grocery store one day and she sees one of her old classmates who spoke to her and said, I'm really sorry what happened, but we technically don't even really know what happened, so I couldn't really take a side, and I couldn't take your side specifically because my parents work with blah, blah, blah. It was really offensive, the things that she was saying. And the woman told her, yeah, you do know what happened because you were there. And that happens a lot, right? People don't want to sit with the truth because they know that they're partially to blame as well. I mean, this other lady, Sarah's friend, should have been there for her as well. A lot of people should have protected her and they didn't. And the whole story is just everywhere. It's really sad. The perpetrator's twin brother is the only one in his family who made sure to take the right side. He made sure to, be on the side of the victim. His own mom, really enabled his brother and was like, well, he's come to find God now, and he's written this book and he's doing all these good things and teaching people how to read and tying shoes in prison. So he's a good person. It's sad, but it definitely mirrors real life. I like to think I know this next author personally, but I do and I don't, right? We've talked on Instagram before, and she is one of the first people to ever get a book review on my website. So this book is near and dear to my heart for many reasons. It's by Laverne Paris. Beautiful woman named Laverne Paris. This is her. And this book is called the Happiness Handbooks. So it's all about little, I guess, like tenets that you can take to heart about being more happy, like really being happy and filled with joy. You know, I'm all about the joy on this channel, and it's not always rainbows over here. I have my days as well, sometimes more often than not, because I allow things to get to me. And that's what this is about. Working on taking control of your own emotions. I like that it is a handbook. It's kind of like a workbook. You can write in here and, you know, just make it your own book. I like this. I'm going to read this to you. It's a power poem. Learn and overturn. Let me slow down. Open your mind to the wonderful world of knowledge. Its greatest gift you can give yourself. Learning new concepts and embracing growth can brighten your world, show you a new life, one that is free of strife. Thinking differently about yourself and others can free you from preconceived notions and show you the way towards inner devotion, to the life of the mind, to the freedom of accomplishment. It's time to learn, grow, and experience self-fulfillment. So this is about being a lifelong learner, which I definitely have to say that I am. I regularly take other dance classes. I'm always in a course doing something, just trying to learn new things and go within. She talks about tapping into your potential, nurturing your gifts, all these really beautiful things. So I loved this book. I've only read it once, believe it or not, even though it's so short, so I should hop back into it again, but I cannot recommend it enough. It is by an independent author, so you may have never heard of her, but you need to get on board with Laverne Paris and the Happiness Handbooks, because the more happiness we have in the world, you know, the better things are out here for all of us. I truly believe that. Okay, so this next author wrote a short story in a book called blackgentleman.com, which I will be talking about soon. This book is wild, and it was written a while ago, and it's just really funny. So Shonda Cheeks is similar to Zane in that she writes erotic fiction, and she wrote a story in here called Lessons Learned. She really wrote this story like really well. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend her. So I'm going to be honest, I do not know if she has written other stories before. I did not do enough research to find out, but I want you guys to read blackgentleman.com. That's why I put her on this list, because this story is just, it was really good. So I liked it because it was about a woman who, you know, she was with a guy that she really loved, and some other guy came along and tricked her into believing her actual boyfriend was doing something he wasn't supposed to, and that wasn't the case. So yes, highly recommend this book. So if you're looking for somebody who knows how to, you know, intertwine the erotic with the mystery, Shonda Cheeks is definitely one that you should check out, because she knows what she's doing. She's really good. I feel like it takes a special person to be able to do that. Most people can only do like one or the other, but I know that Zane does a really good job of doing that, and yeah. She does a really good job of bringing in different genres together, right? You can't just put her in one box. A lot of people do like to put her in just the erotic fiction box, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not all she does. Like, she does a really good job of intertwining all these complexities together and making one beautiful story. And Shonda Cheeks did the same thing. She had me really turning pages in this book. This was one of my favorite stories in the book because it had such a beautiful it had such a beautiful ending. Can I find my words today? It had such a beautiful ending. So let's go on to the last author. I want to end this with a male author. Unfortunately, I do not have an example of one of his books here, but Brandon Massey is one of my favorite male authors. If you know anything about me, I am not a horror person, but I'm trying to become one because I feel like horror stories can be super interesting, but they scare the hell out of me, so I steer clear of them. But for some reason, I can read books that are like slightly scary a little bit, and Brandon Massey is a really good horror author. So I haven't read any of his books in a while, but I remembered him. He always stands out in my mind whenever I think of male authors, and he isn't one that people talk about a lot. We know Eric Jerome Dickey, super famous author. Elin Harris, also really famous guy. But Brandon Massey, I feel like you don't hear his name in the literary circles a whole lot, so I wanted to put him out there. I will make a list of some of his books and add it to the description box here so you can check some of them out. I need to hop back into them too, because I'm gonna be honest, maybe I've been being a little sexist here. I've only been reading novels by women for quite a while. I did dabble in the Eric Jerome Dickey for a while, but I'm really trying to read the books that I have, and most of them are by women. But I know that Brandon Massey has some books out there that I have not read yet, and since it's getting into the spooky season, I will grab some of his so that I can talk to you guys about them on this channel, because that man is definitely overlooked and he knows his way around a novel, let me tell you. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you're able to find some new books to read. Go celebrate these authors because they deserve it too. And I will see you later. Do something that brings you joy today. Bye.